My name is FIDE Master John Curtis from Australia, and the game I am presenting to you today is between Jan Nepomniachtchi, playing the white pieces, and black is Fabiano Caruana, the number 2 player in the world. And the reason why I'm presenting this game to you is because this video is all about my current market predictions for the candidates for the World Chess Championship to play Ding Liren, the World Chess Champion from China. Now, the reason why I've chosen these two players as my top 2 selections for the crown of winning the candidates for 2024 is because Fabiano Caruana is one of the players that performed best against Magnus Carlsen, and he rose to play Magnus and met him on a fairly equal footing. Magnus was stronger and persevered, and it's a very great similarity between Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, Grandmaster Caruana, and one of my all-time favourites, Jan Nepomniachtchi from Russia, the Russian number 1. And Jan he too has reached the pinnacle of chess, having won the candidates not on one occasion to play Magnus, where he lost. And I think he would have been disappointed with his performance at the time, because he was near his peak when he did play Magnus. It's just that things just didn't go right for him. And I think there's a psychological element there. But when we analyse how Jan Nepomniachtchi cruised through the candidates the second time to basically give himself a chance of being a world champion and playing Ding Liren for the world title, and we could see by the games that both players were stressed to an unbelievable extent. Both Ding Liren, he had that psychological pressure of being the number 1 player in China and trying to give China a World Chess Championship, and the pressures there would have been absolutely fantastic. And the pressure on Jan, having gotten so close last time to play Magnus, and then to win the candidates so convincingly, and yet to falter right at the altar of success. So I'm going to show you this particular game because I really do believe that Fabio has shown a slightly better tenacity in the individual games, only slightly better. But if Jan can get his psychological act together, I really believe, because he's still the new kid on the block, and if he can get his mindset together, get the right team behind him, he would just be my one. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult decision, but I just feel that Jan Nepomniachtchi could pull this off. But I believe that his greatest foe will be Fabiano Caruana, who also has been at the altar of success and crumpled to his knees and just almost held the crown of chess. And I think both players really want this badly. And it could all boil down to their individual game as to who wins the candidates. And so there, when I look at all their previous encounters, I find there were some really hard-fought draws and in very, very long, stressful games, Fabio has come out slightly on top. However, I believe if in the individual game, Jan Nepomniachtchi can hold the position, then he may be able to just outpoint Fabio. And of course, my dark horse would be Alireza Firouja. I don't think Hikaru, with his streaming commitments, will be able to be as dedicated as the others. And I think the hunger is greater between these two men, whose game I'm just going to show you right now. And we're going to get right into it. As I say, Jan Nepomniachtchi playing the white pieces. The game I've chosen for you is actually a drawn game. Okay, so white opened up, Jan Nepomniachtchi opened up with d4, black played knight f6, and c4 was played, and the purpose of this move obviously to control the d5 square for the beginners. e6, this is the Queen's Indian type game, knight c3, and now bishop to b4. Very, very standard, well-known mainline. It's a Nimzo Indian defence, and bishop b4 pins the knight on c3 here. Prevents it from moving or protecting the e4 square, so you can't play pawn to king 4 because the knight will simply take it off, as you can see. And it threatens to trade and disrupt the pawn structure. e3 was played, and castles. In this position, white played bishop to d2. It's a book move. And now d5. And the position is relatively equal according to the evaluation bar on the side of the board. a3 was played, and now bishop e7. Both these mighty players, both these mighty super grandmasters are very adept at playing these types of positions. Knight to f3 was played, good developing move. Knight b5 to d7. It's funny here that the engine suggests b6. Right, so the engine suggests this pawn b6 move. Fabio plays knight b5 to d7. Queen to c2 was played, and yet in this position, the chess.com engine, maybe they're using different engines, these two super grandmasters, but the chess.com engine recommends b4. But it doesn't mean it's the best move, because we see these matches between AlphaZero and Layla and the like, and some of the engines have different ideas. Pawn takes pawn, bishop recaptures, star move, best move. Now white's prepared to castle, and the position's ready for a fight. Okay, c5 is played. Straight away, black wants to jettison the c-pawn. White simply castles. Pawn takes pawn and pawn takes pawn back. We have a classical type of position where the d file, the pawn on the d4 is a blocked pawn. Knight b6. He wants to prevent move d5. Bishop a2, best move. Bishop d7. Now I'd hate to play this move, this position against Jan Nepomniachtchi. Knight to e4. Well, queen to d3 was considered best. And now rook c8. Okay. Engine says bishop c6. Actually, I like that move. When I just looked at it just now, I actually prefer bishop c6 to rook to c8 as well. Position favours white. See, Jan is slightly better here. Queen to d3, and he plays the move that the engine suggested as the move that should have been played last move, and it's considered the best move by the engine. Knight to a5. Now, in this position, black wants to release some of the tension That's right, there's a lot of tension in the position. Black's trying to dissipate the tension in the position. White played bishop to b3. Now, if knight takes pawn, queen to c2, or queen to b1. No, queen to c2. No, queen to b1 should win the piece, right? So you can't play knight takes pawn. But you see, he plays knight takes knight, and the pawn recaptures. So white's got a slight edge here, but he's got a backwards sort of c-pawn, and it's not easy to push your pawns because they can become targets to the super GMs. Bishop c6 was played, and now really white hasn't got any, black hasn't got any real serious problems. It's got a slight disadvantage. Rook to e1 was played, and this is considered the best move. Knight to d7 was played. Black is trying to remove Fabio, the most beautiful man in the world, I should say Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, is trying to eliminate the knight outpost on e5. And white plays knight takes pawn. So Jan Nepomniachtchi, this super GM, he doesn't muck around. He says, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're number 2 in the world. I'm going to take your pawn off. And rook takes knight, and now bishop takes pawn. And what his plan is simply bishop takes rook check, and queen takes h-pawn. Okay, so it's a simple threat. Knight to f6. This is a logical reply. It protects the h-pawn. White played c4. There's no pressure, no hurry to capture the castle. The castle's not going anywhere. It's pinned by the bishop to the king. Oops. Knight f6, c4, bishop to d7. So now what black is saying is, well, you can take the castle now or you will never take it. So he takes it. Well, that was a good choice, wasn't it? King takes bishop, and now bishop to b4. As you can see, the threat is rook takes bishop check. What White's actually after is he's trying to get full domination of the central squares. Bishop to f8 was played. It's apparently the best move. It's bad to actually take this bishop, because when the pawn takes back, the castle will be attacking the a pawn, and we'll have 3 pawns that are mobile. So White played d5. It's a question mark, exclamation mark, and now the position is it's roughly equal now. Okay, so queen c7 was played, and now black's threatening to win a pawn. Rook to c1. Rook to c1. And now queen to f4. He should be playing bishop d6, but he played queen f4. So White just captured the bishop. I don't know why you capture the bishop there, but he did. He captured the bishop. The king recaptured, and now it's White to move. White pushed the pawns. So White wants to push the pawns and create problems for black. Remember, White's got the 2 castles for the rook and bishop and knight. So the knight goes there. It's threatening a double attack. It's threatening queen takes h-pawn check and queen takes f-pawn check. Queen to g3 was played. It's not only the best move, but it's the only move. Queen takes queen, and now h-pawn takes. And now we get this very stable position where one would think, well, the engine says white's doing better, but I actually think I like the idea of having the two pieces with black. I suppose it depends on your own individual preference. But the point of me showing you this game with Jan Nepomniachtchi being white and Fabio Caruana being black is that on the balance of material, white's got 6 pawns, black's got 4. So white has 2 pawns in that castle for the knight and bishop. And so the position is considered equal, or roughly equal. The engine says it likes white better than black, but I don't like it. Played rook e5, which I like this move. And now a6 was played. It's the best move. f3, I do like this move. It stops the knight penetrating here and causing some distress to the white king. Bishop there, it's trying to cover a few squares. Pawn here. Now, the problem that is this knight here business. Knight here threatens this pawn. It threatens the castle. So he plays the move. This is really super critical, because what do you do here? Black's threatening to just win a pawn. You can't just lose your pawns. So he gives him a check. He says, well, I'll have to slow down a little bit. The king moves, and now pawn to c6. This is apparently the best move. Pawn takes pawn, and now rook takes pawn. He should take the rook, okay? Now, had Jan Nepomniachtchi taken the rook, the position would have been dead equal, okay? But he chooses not to take the rook. He plays rook to d1, and now ah6 was played. Now, you cannot take the knight. If you capture the knight, the rook will check you here. It's a discovered check because he'll be attacking your knight. Can you see that? So if you take this knight, this rook will check you and take your knight. Oh, your rook, I should say. So rook takes bishop was played. It's the best move. Pawn takes rook, and now rook takes knight. And white's got the edge because white's got 4 pawns, black's got 3. Black played rook hits pawn, best move. Rook to a7, best move. Rook to rook there, not the best move, but okay. King to h2 was preferred. This rook move is a bit yucky. Pawn there, he's saying, oh, I'm going to take the pawn off. He takes, rook takes. Pawn there takes and takes. And now we've just got a standard rook and pawn ending. But and this game goes on for another 5-8 moves. It's just a standard draw, as grandmasters know. But I'll just rush through the moves. He played king there, and he moved his rook as a check. As you can see, they're just moving around gently, and no one's really doing anything. They're both waiting for mistakes, and it's just a very easy draw. And they both agreed to a draw after a couple more moves. But the whole point that I'm showing you is that I really do believe that when it comes to the candidates, the difference between who will win the candidates could boil right down to Jan Nepomniachtchi's ability to hang on to a really hard-fought game with Fabio Caruana. So I've analysed a lot of the candidates' players. I discussed them in my last video, but I just thought I'd share this with you. As you can see from the cover of my video, I've got Jan and Fabio neck and neck, right? So it's really up to Jan's mental fortitude. He's got plenty of time to train his brain so he doesn't crack, right? because we saw signs of cracking when when the world watched Ding Liren and Jan Nepomniachtchi. Jan, I think, was still shattered by by not having performed well in his match against Magnus Carlsen, and then he came back to prove a point. He won the candidates convincingly, and then when he was on the threshold of super success, well, he basically collapsed, and that's what happened. That's what happened, and it's sad, but this is what can happen in chess. You can get so close to that goal, and it can just slip through your fingers. Well, let's hope we have a really exciting candidates, because we've got all the with the likes of Praggnanandhaa from India, and Praggnanandhaa is going to cause some trouble. I can guarantee you he's still young, and he could easily be the next Viswanathan-and, right? But Mr. Praggnanandhaa, he's his own person, and he is a super genius. There's no doubt about that. And Hikaru will be in the wings. Yeah, Hikaru, we must remember, is still number 3 in the world, or thereabouts. And, of course, we have Gukesh and Vidit, and they're gonna be taking a few points off different people, and we have Alireza Firouja, who came into the candidates and qualified because he was the highest rated player. He got the qualifications, being the highest rated qualifier. So it's going to be really interesting. We have a lot of great chess tournaments coming up in 2024, and that World Championship cycle will be particularly exciting. And when I think of this candidates, I think of my favourite chess book, which I show you from time to time, my favourite chess book, which is the Curacao 1962. This is my favourite chess book of all time. It's the greatest candidates ever held. It's a book by Jan Timman, and it's probably one of my favourite chess books, where so many world chess champions played in the candidates. And so that's why I did this special video. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and for now it's goodbye from me. Goodbye from my good friend, Grandmaster Teddy. Some of you might think that Teddy's Russian, but he's not. He's from the North Pole. He's a Christmas teddy bear, and he's the highest rated player in the world. Okay, aren't you, Teddy? Well, that's what he told me. Anyway, bye for now. I'll catch you next time with my next video. Oh, by the way, can you just do one thing for me? Can you click on the thumbs up for the video and subscribe? It's free to subscribe to YouTube. I would really appreciate that, and that'd be a thank you for all my hard work. Bye now.